This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We That's fun. Well, nothing like a blank canvas there to make everybody go, what's going on? I just had food delivered, so good times. So I think that good. All right, good. Yeah, audio's fine. So hey guys, this is obviously live. I literally started the stream and then my doorbell rang and I had to answer it because when food's being delivered and it's nice and hot, you want to pick it up. I don't want them to keep ringing the doorbell. So sorry. Yes, I am here now. So thanks for hanging out with me today. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, about Ethereum, about Ripple, but also traditional markets. A lot of what I said last week, yikes, has it ever been truer? This has not been a really fun week. So before we get started, I just want to remind you of a couple of things. On YouTube, if you are just popping onto my stream, thanks for joining me today. You can be notified about upcoming streams. And then this is wrong actually, but I will be in Dubai the first week of, good grief. Yes. What's it called? October. Well, it's not the first week. Actually, it's the second week. It's the wrong date here. I had to fix it. But I will be live streaming from Dubai. That'll be crazy. There's the Future Blockchain Conference that'll be coming there. So that's really exciting. So if you want to be notified about upcoming live streams, it's here. I'm trying to post videos every single day except for the weekends. So 5 videos a day, including our live stream. So if you have been watching the markets, you know that things are just rosy posy. Looking at the SPX today, it is down. Today is down. It closed 1.71% in the red. Obviously not the best case scenario here. Oh, let me, where is this? Oh, this goes like this, I think. Haha, fix that. So I've been talking about this for a while. And a couple weeks, actually last week ago, let's see, 7. Yep, so I said last week, this doesn't look good. If the S&P, or rather SPX, closes below this line and it doesn't rebound back, things are going to go lower. And my target is basically down here at 36. This is bearish, obviously, for a lot of reasons. So let's break it down here on the weekly time frame. The reason why this is bearish, for one, is that this is our low made back in June. I think we're heading back down there on the S&P, and anything that happens in the S&P, multiply that by 2 for Bitcoin and by 3 or more for everything else. Not everything all the time, but case in point, the S&P was down about 2%. So if we look at Bitcoin yesterday, it was down a lot more than that. If we look at our high to our low, I mean, it's like a 7%, 8% move. Looking at this is about a 3% move. So whatever the S&P does, multiply it. And that's what you're going to get in crypto. And the lower you go down the rung, like from Bitcoin to Ethereum, XRP, BNB, but you go way down, like past the top 50, it gets hit hard most of the time. So a couple of things to note here. Yes, I do think we're going lower on the S&P. There's nothing really to prop it up. There's nothing really happy going on right now. Nothing bullish, in my opinion. Looking at the weekly time frame on the RSI, it has closed below this trend line. So this is now broken, which Again, bearish, not strong at all, not a good thing whatsoever. So it would make sense to see the S&P fall lower. Now, how low could it go? I'm not going to talk about anything else other than the fact that it just needs to hold this, because the truth is that it could fall down here to our 3600 range for this SPX chart. So that would be another, what, 4% drop. So a 4% drop would be the equivalent of an 8% drop for Bitcoin, which would be down here, down to 17K. If that were to happen, Bitcoin will absolutely break below the June low, which would be a very bearish reaction. And that would cause Bitcoin to do what I'm not wanting it to do, which is to make lower lows. It would be brutal. So let's go back to this. So wrong chart. If we see the S&P bounce off of support here and it moves up higher, that's actually a really good sign. It would be really strong. It'd be really great for the S&P if it does bounce off support and move higher. But the more knocks on this line, the weaker it becomes. Now, to be honest, it also could just plummet right through it. And if that happens, we're all going to know it and feel it, because the markets are going to be toast. So looking at the culprit, it's really the FOMC rate hikes, which are inevitable because we've been in a recession for quite a while. And the Dixie is literally going parabolic. It is insane. I have this red line right here that's drawn back from, this chart is insane, all the way from here. This is back in 2001, September. So now we're getting to some crazy, crazy places on this chart. There's nothing slowing down the Dixie. And the next stop, honestly, could be up here to like 120. I know it's not the exact thing that you want to hear, but if we're looking at this fib line, so this would be the next point of really where it's going to stop, up here at 120, maybe. What that will do is that will, in effect, it will toast currencies around the world that are dependent on the dollar as the world's federal reserve currency. Not the world's federal, but the world's reserve currency. So like the yen will continue to move up. Right now it's about 144 yen to $1. It would go up to 200 yen a dollar. Like it would trash the yen, it would trash the euro. It will cause a lot of pain. One thing that I've talked about before when I'm looking at this chart is as much as I want it to go down, and I've been talking about it for a while, honestly, there's nothing slowing down this chart. And that's the part I hate saying out loud, because the whole point of this indicator, the TBO, is to identify the strength of a trend, the direction and the strength. So when we see all four of these lines curving up, the price is above the trend like this, there's literally nothing to stop this right now. That's the truth of it. So there were moments where things could have been better, but because of monetary policy in the United States, things are just trashed. That's it. So I expect the Dixie to go up higher. It unfortunately has broken well above our resistance line that I was so excited about, that it respected it. And now it's just moving on up, unfortunately. So this is, again, one of those terrible, terrible situations. So we're looking at something where we have to go back real far. We have to go back here to 2014. Let me get this zoomed in so I can get the right reading. So 96.89. 96.89. That's good enough. And we're going to just drag it over here so we can see where we are. So this is honestly our next point of resistance as far as RSI goes. And believe me, it does not look pretty. 88, 83. So looking at this, basically it's, if you don't zoom out, it's a straight line. But it is curved down. So we have some quote unquote resistance on RSI at levels that are insane, like 87. So looking at the Dixie, knowing that there's strength in the dollar, there's a lot of fear in the market, and that's being, well, it's playing, it's destroying S&P, and it's really hurting Bitcoin to the point where Bitcoin is dancing on some really, really bad price points. Right now, it is at my arch nemesis price point of 18,513. I said it last week, and I was trying to be realistic with everybody, saying that if Bitcoin, for me, closes below 18,500 on the daily time frame, that's it. That's the switch for us to go lower. It destroys the whole bear setup, the bear formula that I was using with the TBO, because in essence, the TBO bear formula was there to, based on 2019 and 2015's bear markets. And of course, we're in a different place. So looking at what's happening now on the chart, it just doesn't look strong. Things look pretty terrible and pretty weak all over the place. Now, because Bitcoin is at this critical price point, if we were to see it crack below, basically it's heading for here. Honestly, it's heading for our June low, in my opinion. It might not go there right away, but right now it's trying to do a dance and it's trying to recover. Now here is basically the good news. The good news is this: if Bitcoin hits, let me rephrase that. When Bitcoin hits this June low, which I think is going to happen, if it bounces off of this and goes up, that will be a huge surprise, and that will constitute as a double bottom right there and right there. That would be amazing if that happens. As far as the probability goes, given the strength of the trend and everything that's happening, and even looking at the TBO, all the lines are pointing down. I think the possibility of that happening, a bounce off of support, it's about 30%, 40% maybe. And I'm pulling this percentage number out of my head, but I just don't find it very likely for it to bounce and move up positively. If we bring in some support and resistance lines and our resistance fan like this, there's a lot of overhead stuff that we just have to bounce above. So again, if it bounces off of this price point, 17.6, it has a lot of points of resistance to get through, not to mention this overhead resistance line is at 20,000. These numbers aren't that high either, which is frustrating. It doesn't take much for it to really take off. So the frustrating part for me is seeing that the end of all this bearishness could be so close. But because of what's happening with the Fed, it's going to take a whole lot of momentum to push Bitcoin up to 21.5, and then above that up to 25, and then above that. The easiest thing is to look at charts with a bias and to ignore the trend. And I am not about to ignore this trend where things are very much trending down for BTC. Could we see it bounce? Yes. Do I think it's likely? No. So what can you do? Well, if you have funds and you are basically Bitcoin, and you have basically two options. You could run a short bot on 3 commas or smart cover to sell and buy at a lower price if you want to. I've already done that. Or you could keep some of your BTC for trading. So just because Bitcoin is falling right now doesn't mean that all markets are falling. We're going to get to XRP in a second, but it's not just XRP. Everyone that's in the Better Traders Club knows why I picked the pairs that I picked for this week or the next 2 weeks. And basically 98% of them are BTC pairs. The reason for that is simple. When we look at a falling BTC chart and we go over to our, well, let's just go to our watch list here for Binance BTC, which I downloaded from Better Trader IO. So if we look at the percent change, YOY is Aster and OAX. Why are these charts pumping like crazy? This shouldn't make sense, honestly. Why should this chart be pumping at all? That doesn't make sense, right? Because what is OAX? OAX is some no-name token, same as ASTR, Nebel. I mean, these are tokens that I mean, some of them, sure, you could argue they do have a use case. Yeah, whatever. But the reality about all of these, the reason why is if I look for Nebel and the USD value, and this is calculated by TradingView, so this has been moving up. So anytime you see a token that's moving up while BTC is moving down, duh, these are all going to be moving up higher. Now, not all of these have USD equivalents. You notice that Nebel didn't. If I type in Pivx, this one does have a tether equivalent here. So it is moving up. Why is it moving up? Maybe there's good news. It doesn't really matter why. This is to prove the point that there will always be trading pairs that are going to be moving up against BTC when Bitcoin's dropping. If you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling anxious that, oh no, Bitcoin could fall a lot further, that's okay, because there's still time to stack Satoshis. The biggest trip up that I see for traders, especially new traders, is your time frame is off. You're expecting to make money right now. And I started trading in a bear market. So I'm used to all this and that and all that fun stuff. It's not fun. But the reality is that I made the most of I built my Bitcoin portfolio during the bear markets, because even though Bitcoin's falling doesn't mean that there isn't action. There aren't charts to trade and to build up your BTC stack. I really want to drive this concept home. And again, I talk about this a lot more in the club and I talk about it in the live streams, but this is something that I can give to you all as a nugget to help you and to give you a little bit of insight. So you can get these watch lists, by the way. I just want to reiterate, on bettertrader.io. You just have to go to the scanner. You would choose an exchange like Binance, and you would choose BTC. And over here, you want to choose all trading pairs. And then you hit create watch list, and then you save it. And then over here in TradingView, you would go over to this drop down and hit import list, and that's it. And it'll show up as this BT for BetterTrader.io, Binance, BTC, USDT, blah, 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 blah. Now, let's take a look at USD pairs. Now, things just got reset 2 hours ago. So there might be some that are moving up, like AST. This correlates to what that chart is doing. So some of them are moving up, kind of. They're green. But in response to what Bitcoin's doing, I mean, yeah, Chiliz is looking good. API, no. Right? The graph, no. It's moving up a little bit today. Deso, ooh, this is a nice little setup right there. We'll have to bookmark that. But my point being that if we look at those trading pairs, most of them are getting trashed. Like take Ethereum, for example. I just shot a video that'll be going live on Friday morning US time. So it's frustrating that I missed out on a really, really nice short setup. So I missed out, and it's frustrating to have the price fall so much, which would equal an amazing return, as well as hit lots of my targets. But you know what? It's okay. I'm satisfied with any amount of profit, but still, this is playing out just like I talked about last week. It's pretty hilarious to me because 7 days ago, we had the merge happen. Well, on the Friday, actually. So when this happened, man, I said, what did I say actually? I said, after the merge happens, people's expectations are going to be dashed because they thought that the merge is going to equal a bull market and Ethereum is going to shoot up into the right forever. Whereas the merge really just laid the foundation for Ethereum to implement all these future updates and upgrades. So the merge, changing from proof of work to proof of stake, yes, they have a smaller carbon footprint. Good job. But it doesn't really change anything for the protocol. So again, a lot of people probably did what I did. You buy the rumors and you sell the news. You sell it. I mean, that's what I did, and it's paid off handsomely. So now we look at XRP. So if you missed the memo, XRP is pumping right now because there's more news coming out about their super drawn out court case. Let me fix this chart and get rid of a lot of stuff. they've actually been in a court case since, I think, December. Back here. It wasn't December 2019. I think it was December in 2020. And December, because we can see it on the chart right here. So in December 2020, a lot of exchanges decided to delist XRP because the SEC was claiming that they're security. And exchanges wanted to make sure to protect themselves. So Coinbase delisted them. Binance delisted them, but they've actually brought them back and all this stuff. Now, even though that happened, XRP still rallied with everything else because it's crypto. But of course, things have been drooping and sagging ever since, like a 90-year-old woman. So looking at, and I apologize to all the 90-year-old women that are watching right now. I'm so sorry. I'll be more careful with my words as long as I can have a toffee. So looking at where we are now, there's been positive news coming out about XRP getting really close to a settlement, to getting the final verdict on whether or not Ripple is a security or it's not a security. And things are looking more like it's not a security. And if that's the case, it does two things. One, it lays down the framework for other companies to copy whatever XRP has done, so that way they can prove to the SEC as well, we're not a security either. You said XRP is not. We've copied their business and their framework, therefore we're not, so you can't touch us. That's the first thing that'll happen. The second thing that'll happen is that XRP will rip. And for those of you that are new to crypto, welcome. And you haven't seen XRP really do anything except for go down, just go back a little bit, because when things get bullish for XRP, things really move up and they really start to roar like 200%. This rally even was just ridiculous, moving up hundreds and hundreds of percent. I'm of the belief that if Ripple Labs is basically seen as not a security and they get out with just a penalty, a fine, you better bet that Brad Garlinghouse, I think is his name, is the main guy behind Ripple, will pay it happily to say that yes, we were labeled as a security between the years of blah 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 blah, and now we're not, because that's going to rocket the price of XRP. Now the TBO is already showing us this bullish stuff in the chart. Check it out. We have our two closed longs right here. Closed shorts, the orange dots, letting us know that we were in a short position, and now it's letting us know the trend might change. We have an open long on the daily. We have a cross up on the daily. So right now, things are starting to make a turn for the better. We can see that the fast line's moving up. The price is above the cloud, which is a huge accomplishment. If we zoom out, the last time the price was above the cloud was back here in March, and it was very short-lived, and then it dumped. So if things turn out to be bad for XRP, it'll fall right down. But so far, things are looking pretty good. It's nice to be up in a nice little position like this. I think I got it in about 36 cents. So I'm up about 10% or so personally. So I'm of the belief that there's no way that XRP is going to shoot to the moon right now. Even if the judge says, no, you're not a security. I just don't think it's possible. But it doesn't discount the fact that I think that XRP will make a big move up. Everything is oversold. And I've said this over and over to my club members that in every single bear market, there will always be a handful of charts, a handful of trading pairs that just go crazy. Don't ask why. Just follow the trend. Literally, that's what this book is all about. Following the trend. Identify a trend early, stick with it, and ride it as long as you can. So looking at faster time frames for XRP, this one's a little bit hard because there's so much noise on the chart. But if we focus on where we are right now, the lines are all starting to curve up for the TBO, which is good. And I don't care if it does a lot of sideways stuff and all this silly business. It's looking pretty good. Now things get even better if we look at the weekly time frame. We've finally seen, after such a long time, after, let's see, 23 weeks, XRP has finally touched the fast line of the TBO, and now it's pierced into the cloud. Again, bullish. That's really good. Looking at RSI. Right now, RSI is raging. We're at 58.81 on the weekly RSI, and there's basically zero price movement. measuring from our bottom here to our close right here, it's only 36%, and that has RSI moving from 14 to 58. RSI is always going to be a little bit wild, and it's not going to exactly correlate to the price action. That's not the point of RSI though. The point of RSI is to show you the strength. And sometimes strength is hidden. Sometimes you don't recognize that there's building strength in a chart like this. So right here, we have basically sideways blocky action, nothing really happening, but look at the RSI. It's strong and it's moving up. Even before the announcement, it was building strength right in here. This is stuff that is so important, so valuable to learn. And these are things that you're going to learn now. So that way, by the next time we get out of this and you find the next sleeper, like XRP was a sleeper for several weeks and now it's starting to move up higher. So you're going to be able to use this information with RSI and price action. Like it's as easy as that. There are lots of other moving parts to it too, but things look good. So need to check the time. Okay, I'm at 26 minutes. I wanted to just talk about all 5 of those charts and I hit them all. Boom. Nothing but net. I would be a terrible basketball player except for the fact that I'm kind of tall. Okay. Let me look at the comments. And again, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. It's really fun. So what am I clicking? Here am I clicking? I'm looking here. Okay, so yes, I was not there for the beginning. Yes. Okay. So Vincent Barba asks questions about the TBO switch long bots. He's paused his long bots. If it was me, would I run the TBO switch long bots now? I leave mine running. And by the way, we're talking about something that's discussed in the Mastering Passive Income course. And that is the TBO switch, which is a hands-free bot trading strategy that uses the TBO. And essentially you can ride the market in either direction. Now, it does make sense to focus on, this thing. It does make sense to focus on the strength of the trend and the overall trend direction. I personally always leave my switch bots running in both directions because I want to be able to catch a reversal moving to the upside in case it happens suddenly. I don't want to be left waiting. So for me, I always run them. But if you want to run in one direction, there's nothing wrong with that too. So that makes perfect sense. It just depends on the chart. Like if you have a switch running right now for XRP, I would run a long and a short. I wouldn't run long only just because there's still some uncertainty. So how would I monetize the strength of the DXY? Boy, I wish that we could trade DXY BTC. If only there was a DXY BTC chart, I would so be buying that and using a bot and trading it. But the best way that we can monetize the strength of the DXY is to focus on Pax Gold against Bitcoin, by the way. Now, it's not moving up as much as just straight holding cash or USDT or Tether or whatever. But using Pax Gold as a hedge against Bitcoin's falling price is one option. Now, the problem is that when you look at gold, which is going to be, well, that's fine. Gold's falling too. I mean, it's not looking that amazing. So the best way to monetize the strength of the DXY would probably be to stake stable coins in a liquidity pool, so that way you're earning a really small yield. That would be the safest way that you could do it, as long as it's an amount that you're willing to lose in case something crazy happens, because some liquidity pools have been hacked. Always fun. Honestly, the best way to monetize the strength of the DXY is more about knowing the direction. And if you know that the DXY is tearing up higher and higher, and it shows no signs of slowing down, use it to your advantage. Focus more on shorting the market. Focus more on being conservative with your long positions. If you're buying anything, make sure you take profit on the way up. I mean, this is a reminder that we should be doing that for a while still, because again, no signs of slowing down. Okay. I'm with Jim says, ooh, a W pattern on 1 week XRP. Let me see. Yeah, you are right. Ooh, yes, I didn't even know that. Notice that. Good eyes. Okay. We'll see what happens with that. Actually, to help everybody else out too, I'm gonna go to the daily time frame. We saw something similar to this for Ethereum, where Ethereum made a W pattern and then it made its V and then it shot up. So this could be what we're gonna see happen to XRP if things got really bullish. Note that this is the daily time frame and we're talking about the weekly time frame, but similar, really similar. Chris asks, will Ethereum move up again once Bitcoin does, or has the merge changed the future outlook? I think that Ethereum has the power to lead Bitcoin. It's true. I don't think the merge does anything to really make things bullish. It doesn't really have the power to do that. It's just not, it's not in the capacity of what the merge was seeking to accomplish. So Ethereum and Bitcoin are very correlated. So if Ethereum starts to move up, Bitcoin's going to move up. If Bitcoin's moving up, Ethereum will follow as well. So they're both correlated in that they're gonna move off of each other based on what the other is doing. So there's a correlation there, but it doesn't have anything to do with the merge, in my opinion. It's really about the Dixie moving higher, the DXY. It's about the stock market falling. It's about Bitcoin dancing on this line of 18,500. It's not a good place to be. Great. So I do want to make a reminder that the club is the place to be. I already have it open. So the Better Traders Club is a subscription-based service for people that want to join a community of people that are learning how to trade better. So here in Discord, I post announcements frequently, not every single day, but I post it frequently. There's lots of tools that come with the club. There are the TBD signals, there's the DCA backtester, there are the TBT stop loss hunting alerts and a TBT forecaster. There's the community aspect. There's a ton of stuff. There's the bi-monthly, as in every other week, live streams and watch lists and curated DCA bots and all this stuff. There's a ton of value and content in the Better Traders Club. So if you want to join a community of better traders, I highly recommend that. So things to look out for, how to approach the rest of the week. Big thing to keep an eye on, that at least I am, is the Dixie, the DXY. If the DXY continues to move higher, Bitcoin's going to suffer, and I'm watching that 18,500 value for BTC. I'm not overly depressed. I'm actually not depressed at all about the market, which is weird. Thinking about my experience since 2017, I actually feel okay because I know that there's still opportunities. Granted, I did sell half of my trading stack of Bitcoin a couple weeks ago, so I'm feeling better about that. And most of it was sold quite a while ago as well, back when it was at 42. So I'm at the point right now where I'm okay, and I'm all right to just kind of hang out and see what happens and take advantage, because there are going to be opportunities, whether it's XRP or it's ASTR or whatever BTC trading pairs there's still going to be opportunities, whether the market is bullish or bearish. It just depends on your outlook and your trading techniques that you're using and applying on the market. So again, tons of stuff, tons of content on the channel. I'll be having another live stream at this time next week. So until the next time, you know what to do. Let me wait. Whoa, I'm not ready. Not okay. No, not ready yet either. Okay. So until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.